Hi. So I asked you to ask me questions so I can make this Q&A in order for you to win one of the advanced reader's copies for my book, a signed one. And well, you did. You asked me way more questions than I would have anticipated, and I'm very excited to do this, and maybe a tiny little bit overwhelmed with all of this, but we will manage. I'm sure of that. All right. Yes, this is my very first book that I wrote from beginning to end, and also the first one I'm going to publish. When I was 14, I think, I started to write a book, and it wasn't good. It might be thought of better that I never finished it. I think we are all better off for it. And obviously I never published it. Will it be the start of a series? Yes. To be precise, it will be the Magic Blood series. And the title will make sense at some point, I promise. The way the books will work is that you can read it as a standalone. You can read all of them as a standalone. But it does make sense to read them as a series. Probably in the right order, but it's up to you, really. I've read books that were supposed to be a series that you can read as a standalone, and I somehow managed to mess it up and read them in the complete opposite direction, which left me quite confused at some point. Who are those characters? Am I supposed to know them? Am I stupid? Probably. Was stupid to not read them in the right direction, but not the right order. But other than that, no, it wasn't my fault. My favorite book, I can't give the title to a single book, just one book, because there's so many books I profusely adore. But I have a favorite book series, the Turner series by Cat Sebastian. I love those books, and especially the Lawrence Brown Affair and The Ruin of a Rake. I just loved them so much. They were a huge inspiration for those of you who wondered. And if you haven't read them yet, do it. Do yourself the favor. You won't regret it, I promise. Will there be spice in my book? No, why would you think that? No. At least that's the answer I would give anyone who I actually know in real life. No, that's not true. Everybody who knows me knows about the plot relevant. Well, there will be spice. There are a couple spicy scenes. There's no fade to black, nothing like, well, if you know, but it's not stated explicitly. No, it's stated very explicitly. One of you also asked me if my family knows about the book and if they will read it. My family knows about the book. They know what it's about. And I actually wrote a censored tame version for them, for my mother, so she can read it and still appreciate the story, hopefully. I don't know if she will read it. Not read the explicit stuff, because at one point I had like one of those author copies of my book at home, and I was telling her about it, how excited I am, and I left to go into the kitchen, and she was like, oh well, I'm gonna read the first chapter. That was a mistake. That was a huge mistake on her part. I think I actually traumatized my own mother. Well, it's late to make amends. I did my best. I wrote the family-friendly muffin and biscuit and tea version, which in turn somehow traumatized me, because now I will never be able to hear the word biscuit again without thinking about very, very, very explicit stuff happening. But that's something to unpack at therapy. The book is written in English, simply because I wanted to write it in English. I don't know why. I want to write a German translation because that's something I can do. I can't write a translation for any other language because I simply do not speak those languages, so it wouldn't work. And at this point in time, I can't afford a real translator, but I'm afraid it might take a while, because spicy scenes in German do not sound good. Not at all. It physically hurts me to write them, and I just can't. I just can't do it right now. One day I will do it, but not today. For this little giveaway, it doesn't matter where you live as long as the post office is somewhat willing to deliver it, and I just have to pay a really high fee for it to happen. I will do it. I don't need to be able to afford bread for the next month. Like, no, it's alright, it's alright. I knew what I was getting into when I announced this giveaway. Like, it doesn't matter where you live, I will try to ship the book to you as long as it's physical possible. Yes, probably. I can't name them all because there are probably some that I don't even see myself. This story was very, very personal to me, and also I'm also going to answer another question about how the story might help me heal. You will realize early on that a huge part of the story of both characters is family and how we want a connection to someone, and what happens when the people who are supposed to love us, who we thought might love us, abandon us without a warning. It's something that, as many of you sadly know, probably hurts a lot, and it will just always sting. There will always be this pain, and even if it gets better with time, it's always this feeling of I got abandoned and I don't know why. What have I done wrong to deserve this? That's something. One of them deals more with it than the other, but it doesn't mean that the other one doesn't deal with it at all. And it's something that's deeply personal to me. I don't want to go into the full story, but it's something that was with me for many, many years. And this story gave me the opportunity to just put all the pain, all of the resentment, and and this whole feeling of I failed. It's my fault. I'm not good enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't doing good enough. I should have been better. I should have behaved differently. There's something wrong with me. But also the feeling of if I just do good enough, if I just behave the way people are expecting of me, no matter if it's something I want or not, if I'm just trying to be better, no matter if it hurts me or not, it doesn't matter, as long as I get loved. I will do anything to earn the love. That's another very critical point in the story. The very first time I had any inspiration to write a story was on November 1st, 2021, and I just saw this TikTok that had a prompt for two lovers who are destined to destroy each other. I decided that they should be enemies, but that's a different story. And well, we were supposed to write a last sentence for that kind of story, and I did. Well, I wrote a whole monologue. And what happened in this monologue was that the villain, who at the time had no name, neither did the hero, was kneeling at the hero's grave and telling him how much he regretted killing him, and that he was the love of his life, and he would do everything in his power to change the past because he just loved him so much, and having taken his life will be always his biggest regret. And then he goes on killing himself at his grave. It was very, very sad. And people liked it and told me I should write a book, and I was like, yeah, sure. Then I realized I don't know how to write a book or really what it was supposed to be about, because great, I had an ending, but nothing else. And I just thought about it. I thought, okay, I knew I have one character who's supposed to be the villain and one who's supposed to be the hero. What else about them? Like, how did they met? What's the main conflict? What are their life likes? Do I want it to be fantasy or not? And I just started thinking, and mostly like, what kind of story would I enjoy? And that's what I did. I just thought, okay, what's the perfect story in my eyes? What's the kind of story I would want to read? Like, what's the kind of story I always am looking for but don't seem to find anywhere? So I just did just that. I don't know, I was just thinking about it all the time, all day long. I think I've thought about those two fictional characters and all the side characters more often than I did about my own family. I'm pretty sure I do not even remember all of my family members' names, but I do remember all their names, so I don't know if I'm doing good or not. But that's a different question. I also took inspiration from people I know, especially one of my favorite characters is a side character called Caterina Bianco. And Caterina, as I always call her in this very bad Italian accent when I'm talking with my friends, is based on one of my best friends. And she approved, especially when I was like, here, that's a scene with her. And she was teasing Luca about the very, very dangerous Mr. Grimshaw, who's a mafia boss, and how hot he is and how they would make a cute couple. And Luca was like, Caterina, I don't care how hot he is, I won't go to bed with him. And my friend, as well as the character formed after her in the very same moment, were like, so you admit he's hot? So yeah, she earned the seal of approval. And the timeline, is it complex? Perhaps a little bit, but only in the sense that there are two different timelines. Like, one is their teenage years and the other is the modern day. Oh well, as modern as 1894 can be. That's still up for debate, I guess. And the thing with the timeline is, like, they are very closed in and of itself, and they will go straight forward, but they just keep interluding with each other. Is the right word? I hope you get what I mean. So, like, chapter 1 is in the modern day, and then chapter 2 will be a chapter from the past, and so on and so forth. It will also be multi-point of view, which made it a bit hard to outline everything, and that's one of the few things I'm actually proud of, because what I did was I just wrote down on a sheet of paper chapter 1. I gave it a name, like, for the first chapter 1, The Ball, 23rd of April 1894, Luca, because it's from his perspective, and then it just goes on. And then I did this for every other chapter, always number, name, whose point of view, and what date it was, or at least like what month and which year. That made it a lot easier. So if you're thinking about writing with multiple timelines, do that. It will literally save your life. There won't be any trend rep right now. I do have plans for later books where I want to give better trend representation, but this book mostly focused on bi main character and a gay main character and other characters of different sexualities who might not be disclosed but very aggressively hinted at, so it's really not a secret. If you know, you know. Some are a bit more discreet about it. So there's one character who thus far no one had ever gathered that this character is in love with a different person, and I thought, like, it's so obvious, but apparently it's not. So perhaps you will be the one to figure it out and be like, oh yeah, character A is definitely in love with character B. But is character B in love with character A? Nobody knows. Is there any family drama? Yes. It's not the main focus of the story, so it won't take up a huge part of the story per se, but you might find out or figure out at some point that those issues, even if they're a little bit more kept in the shadows, are like, it's what drives some of the characters to prove themselves, to earn love, or just to break free from the rules that were set. All in all, I really like my story. I really like what I've done with it, and I'm really excited for you to read it. And yeah, I will, because you asked me what the book is about, I think you have a fair idea. I will put a screenshot of the blurb here so you can read it, so you can get an idea. You can also see it on Amazon and then Goodreads. Please put my book on your to-read list. And yeah, if you want to read the ebook, you can pre-order now. If you want to wait for the paperback, that's totally fine. It will be out on the 17th of October this year. I can also tell you why I choose this date, because my birthday is the 17th of November, so I thought it would be fun if I published a book 1 month before my 23rd birthday. Like I said, I'm not really that interesting. I'm a 22-year-old guy from Germany. I was born and raised in Berlin. I do not live there currently, but I will study there next semester. I wasted 6 semesters of my life in law school only to realize I truly hate it and just dropped out. And now will study philology as well as philosophy. Parents are very proud. At least that's what I tell myself. And yeah, if you haven't noticed yet or heard it or seen anywhere on my page, I'm very gay. I don't know why I just did that. And yeah, so that was also a motivation. And yeah, I think that's all there's to say about me. Feel free to ask me more questions. I will answer them in the comments, but I don't think there will be. And now to the part that you all were waiting for, the winners. I will put their names here on the screen. I will also tag them either on TikTok or Instagram, depending on where you asked me the questions. I'm very happy that you helped me make this video, and also to this wonderful person, despite the fact that you didn't win, I would really like to send you a book. And yeah, so like I said, the 5 winners, as well as this one person who I personally really don't know, but I was really moved by your story, and I thought, I know what it's like if you can't afford anything. Fun fact, I still can't afford anything, but who cares? Yes, I would like to send you my book, a signed copy, as promised. All you have to do is just write to this email address. It's my email address if you haven't figured. And then we can just clear out all the details so I know where to ship the books. And yeah, I'm really looking forward. Please contact me until the 1st of October so I can get anything in order. Yeah, that's really all I had to say. And thank you very much again for asking me questions. Thank you very much for watching this video. It was a lot of fun to make. I know my pronunciation isn't great. I'm very sorry for that. I hope that the subtitles will help. I promise my writing is better than this. At least I hope so. Perhaps I'm wrong, perhaps it's terrible. Well, buy my book anyway, it might still serve a purpose as a door stopper. I think that's fair.